Welcome at Flick Favorites. I'm going to explain an Ukrainian war drama film called Sniper the White Raven. In my opinion, it's a pretty well-made movie. I would like to comment that this movie is the perfect example of excellent filmmaking on a low budget. Spoilers ahead. Enjoy the content. Like and subscribe. Your support would be appreciated. Mykola Voronenko, a mathematician, physicist, and ecologist, bids his pregnant wife Nastya farewell as he rides his bicycle out to work in the opening scene of the film. They occupy a 2-hectare plot of land in a very tranquil area of Ukraine's Donbas. They are regarded as the region's first eco-settlers. Mykola parks his bicycle and makes his way to the school where he works. He can see inside from the news that in Kyiv, the Ukrainian capital, special forces had killed 100 demonstrators. Additionally, he learns that their president escaped to Russia just as the country was about to invade Ukraine. Mykola tries his best to impart knowledge and instruct his students while teaching physics. Ivan, one of the students, shows little sign of being interested in learning. Instead, he continues to argue with the teacher whenever he has the chance. Ivan tells the teacher to leave when the class is finished because he is a stranger there. While riding his bike to work as usual, Mykola encounters armed men close to his property. He doesn't give it much thought and continues to show up for work. He parks his bike as usual and enters the building. The fact that he is the only teacher there and the location is deserted surprises him. According to the news, instability is spreading across the globe as Russian soldiers continue to occupy nearby territories. He quickly picks up his bike and rides back home. He worries about the armed men he earlier observed because his wife is by herself. He is not mistaken. He can watch his wife being beaten from a distance. He tries to assist but is instead smacked in the back by a gun. He begs them not to harm her because she is expecting, but they won't listen. One Russian soldier enters their home and sets it on fire. Nastya grabs a stone to retaliate as the two Russians are about to depart. After that, she is shot and dies in front of Mykola. A short while later, 2 Ukrainian militiamen assist Mykola in burying his wife while he goes back to his burned-out home. The wooden cross that his wife crafted for him is within his grasp. Mykola, unsure of what to do next, decides to travel with the Ukrainians after burying his wife with a broken heart. He travels to the Ukrainian militia's base camp with them. He is not trusted by the leader because he believes he might be a spy. He declares his plan to ally with them and expel the Russians from their nation. He is then offered the opportunity to train with them, but due to his pacifist beliefs, he knows very little about firearms and is finding the training to be challenging. He is shown by a woman how to take apart and put back together a rifle. He is adamant about learning. Mykola convinces his officer that he is no longer a pacifist one evening while exercising. He also favors the Raven as a code name. Code names are earned, he is reminded. He finds the training to be unfamiliar and difficult, but he is dedicated to arming himself with all the information and abilities necessary to exact revenge. The lack of snipers at the front is mentioned to the training. Few people express interest in volunteering to be trained when asked. Mykola gets to his feet and says he's ready to take on the challenge. Because he can't even disassemble and reassemble a gun in time, the officer motions for him to sit down. Mykola requests a chance to demonstrate his ability. He promises to complete it in 20 seconds to the officer. The officer places an AK-47 on the table. To everyone's surprise, Mykola puts on a blindfold and begins disassembling the pistol. He then carefully reassembles the components. It just takes 18 seconds. This time, he receives cheers in place of laughing. Mykola has now acknowledged receiving sniper training. Mykola is taken aback when he receives a different gun from the other students during training. He won't go because he thinks it's unfair that he can't have the same weapon. He requests to receive an SVD-63, a designated marksman rifle that is semi-automatic, just like the other trainees. The people in control do not agree with this. Mykola is forced to accept what he has and make the most of it. The trainer will shoot at them from a distance of a few inches as part of the test. They will fail if they react. Despite the deafening loudness and the danger associated with this training, Mykola does not flinch. Another is to cover their scope after they've sighted the target. Misses by Mykola. Mykola does not exploit the fact that he does not have the best weapon as an excuse, even though he is aware of it. Mykola impresses the lieutenant colonel when the training emphasizes calculation, since he is able to calculate the solution before his other students can. It helps that he is a mathematician. Mykola succeeds in the sniper course. The lieutenant colonel once instructed Mykola to pack his belongings. He is a member of the group that will travel to a Russian-held checkpoint. The group takes immediate positional security. Every sniper has a different target. An automobile approaches the checkpoint as they prepare to carry out their plan. They are prevented from firing by the lieutenant colonel. The car's occupants are asked to exit the vehicle and show their passports. They are let to go after being checked, but the man's passport is kept. The male gets shot with a gun while the girl is smacked. There is a commotion as a result. They are given the all-clear to fire by the lieutenant colonel. The Russians are thereafter all executed. The squad receives praise from the lieutenant colonel for their first mission's accomplishment. Mykola searches for his pals and other trainees when they get back to their command station. He is informed that their missions are distinct. He learns afterwards that one of them was brutally murdered by a sniper. The group will eventually be assigned another mission. Explosives are set up, and a leaf hides the trigger. Mykola is shocked to see his former classmate among them as the Russians draw near. Ivan was the pupil who was constantly provoking him. When the bombs go off, all the Russians die, including Ivan. Mykola is advised by the lieutenant colonel not to feel sorry for Ivan's choice. While the snipers are set up, Ukrainian forces protect the borderside trenches. Russian forces will soon pass by, it is only a question of time. The Russians are getting ready to assault the area in the meanwhile. From his scope, Mykola can see the man who killed his wife. He approaches the lieutenant colonel and requests authorization to fire. He is instructed to withdraw. Mykola makes a great shot and once more requests permission. At this moment, he is too ready to take the risk. Although the request is denied, Mykola cannot afford to pass up this chance. The Russian is struck in the neck as he pulls the trigger. The Russian loses his life. The lieutenant colonel feels miffed that his request was disregarded. Unbeknownst to them, Siri, a Russian expert sniper, is also in a position to locate their whereabouts. Siri is spotted by the lieutenant colonel. Mykola is informed of the sniper's location, but the Russian is unable to respond in time. Later, the lieutenant colonel is slain. Now that their location is compromised, Mykola is aware of it. As he faces the Russian assault, he places the body on his back. He locates a ditch and seals it off for protection. He is able to escape unharmed. He was asked not to go for the kill, but his emotions got the better of him and he did. Finding the sniper responsible for his death is the only way to exact revenge. Mykola travels alone on a mission. He can take out 2 snipers once he spots them, but not before getting shot in the arm. Mykola gets a call from the brigadier general and tells him about the Russian sniper, but he is unable to divulge any further information at this time. Once they meet, he wants to tell Mykola everything. Mykola prepares his supplies and moves toward the destination. He has the chance to learn more about the Russian sniper at this time. The brigadier general informs his men on the abilities of the Russian sniper. 5 of their snipers and 3 machine gunners had already been taken out by him. He is an opponent to be taken seriously. They know from the kills he made where his favorite position is. He stays in the same place. The officer makes it plain that he wants Mykola to scale the building and shoot the Russian sniper after the secondary targets are taken care of. They are then let go. All snipers are ready to fire their weapons. Mykola crawls into the target area and declares that he is finally in place. He is able to sneak up behind 2 Russians and kills them both right away. The individual that visited him at his home was one of the two. The other snipers lock onto their targets and await the command to fire. After counting down to fire at the same precise moment, they succeed in eliminating their targets. Siri observes that his lookouts are no longer returning reports. He gets up from his desk to see what's happening outdoors. There seems to be a problem with their communication. They are unaware that Mykola is approaching and waiting for the ideal opportunity to fire and murder them. One of the snipers outside is examined by Siri. It appears like the sniper is still in place. When he learns that the sniper has been killed, he is shocked. He makes a backup request. He is instructed to wait for the crew to show up for 10 minutes. Siri returns to his position and focuses his attention once more on his scope. He observes a wooden crucifix that is close by. Mykola then leaps onto his back and stabs him in the neck before he has a chance to respond. The other sniper returns to his position as well. When he does, a grenade explodes, killing him as well. The backup that Siri was hoping for is now present as the film comes to a close. When Mykola receives the phone, he informs the caller that they would be held accountable for what they did in Crimea, another region that the Russians seized. Then Mykola murders him. Russian soldiers emerge off the trucks, but the Ukrainian snipers, who are strategically placed to kill everyone, are no match for them. Mykola returns to his home and pays a visit to his wife's grave when the smoke has cleared. His purpose to exact revenge for her passing has been fulfilled, but the work is not yet finished. That's how the movie ends. In my view, this movie shows top-notch camera work, excellent acting, and the pacing of the film kept me engaged. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time.